Welcome to this Marvelicious Toys one-shot. They're not just toys, they're Marvelicious.
Galactus. You know what? I've said on this show, in 2 different episodes or 3, Galactus, the 14,000 goal, way too high. People aren't going to buy multiples of Galactus. There's been a sense of entitlement to me, and I will completely own up to being entitled and saying I deserve stretch goals for my money. And we're not going to hit them because 14,000, I don't know how that number came about, but I was skeptical if it would even be funded. I will happily eat my humble pie. I was so freaking wrong.
This one has been crazy, hasn't it? Like, I don't think any of us thought that this wouldn't fund. I mean, we might have, like, in the back of our minds been a little bit scared, like, oh, geez, what if it just falls off a cliff and we don't get there? But I think mostly we were like, yeah, this is going to fund. But there was a time where it looked like it might not. And now, holy cow, like, there was a stretch goal, and then there was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Oh, my God, there's another stretch goal. Oh, my, there's another one, and we're going to hit, oh, geez, here we are, 4 stretch goals in.
It was super suspenseful.
I probably have watched the Galactus Haslab closer than I watched my own crowdfunding project when I did a Kickstarter. I've probably had more emotions about it. I've been just tense. Like, literally, every morning I wake up, I empty my bladder, I check Galactus, and then I have my morning coffee. Every day.
So you've watched numbers, like, because last time I think we talked about it, we were talking about how we were kind of in the doldrums of the campaign, where it's like literally lucky to see it move 50, 60 units every couple days. And over the last few days, it's been thousands of units per day.
Crazy numbers.
I mean, just to catalog it, I feel like once it was funded and then the Frankie Ray Nova was the first stretch goal, I feel like that was a little bit like we might not hit it, but then we hit it. And then I don't feel like there was any suspense between that and Silver Surfer. Or maybe there was a little bit, like, maybe not Silver Surfer.
No, Silver Surfer just, like, happened because they didn't announce Silver Surfer in time. And Silver Surfer was only 1,000 more. We needed 14 to fund, 16 for Nova. But then it felt like they wanted us to have Silver Surfer, so they made it 17 for Silver Surfer. And I was like, okay, that's very nice of them. And maybe they'll just do 1,000 apiece. But then they came out with Morg, and that was 3,000. It was like, well, okay, we gave you Surfer early, but now you got to make up that ground. We got to hit 20,000 for Morg.
Yeah. And that's the one that got me nervous. I was like, oh, geez. I mean, most of us already have Silver Surfer. I understand there's a lot of people who haven't been able to get one of them because he was Walgreens exclusives and all that. But at the end of the day, not super excited about a Surfer again.
It's too white. I don't know if it's the photos, but I've seen people call him Iceman, and he does kind of look like the Snowman Iceman from the very early X-Men days. He's not pinless. I think you could really have given us a pinless upgrade. They've given him a new head, and the head looks great. And they've given him a new base so he can sit in Galactus's hand, which is cool. But it's not a magnetic surfboard like Toy Biz did back in the day. It's not the ultimate Silver Surfer figure either. So not only have they put out Surfer at Walgreens and a variant Surfer very recently, but this Surfer, I'm glad it was only 1,000 because it felt a little underwhelming.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with this, is that, like, now that we've gotten all stretch goals, it's fine. It's just another figure in this because, you know, I'm not going to say no to a Silver Surfer, but if that would have been it, if it would have been Frankie Ray Nova and Silver Surfer, it would have been kind of But now we're getting a Morg for sure. All new sculpt that looks incredible. And then the final stretch goal. Holy cow. Arnie, I think this is more your thing, man. I think you were the one saying you would prefer to have more swappable heads than figures as stretch goals.
I think figures are bad stretch goals. I'm just going to say this. I think that figures go on pegs, and you should perhaps have included a figure with this. I think Nova maybe should have been just part of the base offering, because whenever they released Galactus, Like in the MU line, you always got a Surfer with Galactus, you got a Wolverine with the Sentinel. The Amazon exclusive Legends had a Days of Future Past Wolverine with a Sentinel. But figures should and will be on pegs. They said this is the only way to get Frankie Nova until at least 2023. Well, we're not getting Galactus till 2022, so I mean, you're going to get Frankie Ray Nova, and I'm sorry to spoil this, they're not going to take an entirely new sculpted figure, Morg, and allow him only to be part of the Haslab. Look at what Star Wars did with the Barge and the Razor Crest. Any new figures that came on exclusive packaging.
Yep.
Or with maybe an exclusive arm. This will not be the only way to get Morg. Maybe this will be the only way to get this color scheme of Morg, but Morg will be out there too. And when they did the Sentinel, they said, if the Sentinel gets funded, we have a lot of X-Men figures planned for fall 2021 so that you can tie them in and have figures out there to buy to interact with your Sentinel. So all of these figures should have been general releases for fall 22, especially Surfer, a re-release with a new head, and Frankie Nova, the female Buck with like new hair and I think a new head. They shouldn't have been stretch goals because you can get these at retail. What you'll never get at retail are extra accessories for Galactus. You'll never get more than this Kickstarter offers. And that's why with the Sentinel, every new stretch goal got me so excited. Oh my God, it's a master mold. Oh my God, it's battle damage, because I'd never have any other way to get those. So that's why the fourth stretch goal of Galactus, I love Morg as a figure. Do not get me wrong. That Morg figure, I was feeling pretty bummed thinking we wouldn't hit 20,000 and that was the best figure they'd shown. But nothing got me as excited as this gimmicky Doctor Doom Galactus head. And I say gimmicky because you can't say, oh my God, my life is incomplete if I don't have the Doctor Doom Galactus that was in one issue of Fantastic Four in 2001.
Right. Yeah, it's the perfect last stretch goal because if we hadn't hit it, it wouldn't sour the whole campaign for me. It wouldn't be like, oh, they dangled this in front of us and we'll never have it. But it is a cool last one to have up there where it's like, if we get there, awesome. We've got this awesome Doctor Doom head to pop on there.
To me, it's the only stretch goal that matters. I mean, again, there's a sense of entitlement here. I've paid my money. Give me my figures, right? It's the same amount of money that I've paid, so I want my figures. But this, again, there will never be a different opportunity for me to get this head. That head never came to mind as an idea of what they should do. I had an idea of the unhelmeted head that we've seen in several comics, or even Galactus in human form. The alien he was before he became Galactus. You could have thrown that in as a Legends figure. Maybe that could come out at retail. But this is really fun. But don't you think that having a Doom head would make people who may have only bought one go back to buy a second because now it's two separate characters?
Yeah, I mean, it's got me. And it also kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, kind of wishing we had the Sentinel in hand just to not only answer quality questions, but now I have a question of so Sentinel's coming with two figures. Are those going to be just packed in the box? Or are they going to come in their own unique packaging like you're talking about with the sail barge, you know? Because if that's the case, if they're coming in their own unique packaging, yeah, I kind of want two of each, one to open and one to keep in the box.
And here's something else I'm going to throw in there. Hasbro team has not answered as of this recording, but it was asked, will the Doom head fit on a Sentinel? Now, I know the purples aren't quite exactly the same. I put them next to each other. They're close purples, not exactly the same Pantone purple, but can you have a giant Doom bot now?
Ooh.
I'll admit, they got me. As soon as they showed the Doom head, I backed for another.
All right.
I mean, you got to have at least two now to open with the Doom head. And that's how they get you. And if they'd shown the Doom head first, I think it would have gone even faster as people do buy two. And now, mind-blowingly, the Sentinel was a huge success with 21,890 backers. Galactus is more than that.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
I have a theory.
Okay.
When Galactus got funded, I don't like how he got funded. He got funded on a Monday morning when they added in the international sales. As we mentioned on a previous show, there's the UK site as well as the US site that are both Pulse sites. And so they're adding it together, but the other areas that are getting Zavi and things, those numbers do count. If you remember the Star Wars team, when they announced the Razor Crest was funded, they thanked the international customers for getting them over that goal. And Dan Yoon on Twitter said that what they'd done that morning was add 800 international sales to the number to get Galactus over the 14,000 mark. Not for the sake of that. That's not why they did it. But when they added the 800 international, it jumped it over the 14,000 mark. So if you were refreshing to get that screenshot right at 14,000, you couldn't. I woke up that morning, emptied my bladder, checked Galactus. It was at 13,000 and some. Drank my coffee, refreshed Galactus after my coffee, and it was over 14,000. And I was like, wait. Was it over 14 before? No, it was definitely 13.7 or something before my coffee. And they've been slowly adding in the international since, making me wonder. I mean, it's a bit opaque to know what those international numbers are and how they reflect. When they announced the stretch goal for the Silver Surfer of 1,000 more, were there 1,000 international sales just sitting there and they knew we were going to get Surfer anyway?
Maybe. I mean, I think there's just so many things going on, you know. I mean, with it being the last week, the final days, people that decided that they just couldn't live without it, and there's people that have been saving up, people that have been trying to talk their significant others into being okay with it, you know.
But I think it's the increased international presence that is what really took Galactus into the stratosphere and gave it such a huge funding number. The only thing that I think hurt it is, why would Hasbro announce a brand new Haslab, the Transformers one, in the final days of another Haslab, Galactus? I think we didn't even find out about the Morgue stretch goal when we should have, because we hit the Surfer goal Friday morning. We didn't find out until very late Friday that there was a third stretch goal and that it was Morgue. And I think that's because they didn't want to step on the toes of the Transformers Victory Saber Haslab, which had a target of 11,000, so 3,000 less than Galactus, but he also only cost $179.99.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's just anecdotal, but I don't know a ton of crossover fans that are, you know, both Marvel and Transformers. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that I feel like there's way more crossover between Marvel and Star Wars fans. So it's probably better that it's not the end of Galactus and the beginning of the new Star Wars Haslab, you know, with this Transformer buffer in there. I feel like, But yeah, maybe they could have waited a few days to start that one until this one was done.
1 week, except they're probably then waiting for the Rancor. And I do know, I might have said this in a previous show, I know some friends who said they were going to back Galactus, and then the news of the Rancor dropped, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to save my money for the Rancor. So there are those crossover fans, and that means Haslabs have to compete for the money if you're going to be doing them back to back to back to back to back.
Yep. And I think if any of those suffer, it'll be a Transformers one.
Yeah, but like you say, it's its own thing. It's so much cheaper. It's an 8-inch figure. I don't know a whole lot about the Victory Saber and the fact that it looks like, I think they're bringing a Gundam over from Japan and this is funding it. But I just want to say, I've groused, I've been entitled, I've been skeptical. But this is an amazing figure, and congratulations to everybody at Hasbro for making an amazing figure, and I believe breaking the Haslab record again, breaking their own record.
Hear, hear.
They are the Simone Biles of toy makers. I mean, this thing has me so excited for it. But, of course, the Sentinels, I keep getting Hasbro Toy Shop shipping notices. I'm like, Sentinel! No. I don't know if you watch TikTok, but I've just gotten into that. But there's the...
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's the fairy!
Soon, very soon, young Padawan. Sentinel shall be shipping. End of September, I think they said.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Marvelicious Toys. Marvelicious Toys is a Venganza Media production, copyright 2022. All rights reserved.